The first thing that will help you thrive living alone is a stepladder. A stepladder. I'm serious. Go buy one. Buy two, actually, because I promise you it's going to quietly solve about a dozen problems you don't even realize are wearing you down. I know how that sounds. Stay with me. When you live alone, there's this whole pile of little jobs that feel too hard. And when you really look at why they feel hard, it's just that they're up high, and you're standing on the floor looking up at them. Hanging a picture, getting the good pot down from the top shelf, putting the winter blankets away, changing the battery in the smoke alarm that starts chirping at 2 in the morning, always 2 in the morning. Each one feels like a small, impossible thing, so you just don't do it. And they pile up. All these undone little jobs, and every one of them is a tiny reminder that you're on your own now and there's nobody to hand it to. A stepladder erases half of them in an afternoon. That's the whole trick. The smallest, silliest purchase, and suddenly a whole category of "I can't" turns into "oh, that's easy." That's what thriving alone actually looks like, by the way. It's rarely big and dramatic. It's mostly small things like this. Hi, by the way, I should say hello properly. Come in, sit down. I've been living on my own for a long, long time now, well over 3 decades, and here's the thing people don't believe when I say it. I love it. I genuinely do. But I remember the beginning, when it was frightening and everything felt like too much. So this is what I'd tell someone just starting out, or anyone having a rough patch of it. 5 things that carried me from just getting by to actually thriving. And I'll be honest with you all the way through, including the parts I still don't do well. So that stepladder is really part of number 1, which is bigger than the ladder. Number 1 is get competent at the things that scare you, one small step at a time. When you live alone, you're suddenly responsible for everything. Everything. The stuff a partner handled, the stuff your parents did, the stuff you never once thought about. It's all yours now, from the leaky tap to the retirement planning. And here's what that does to your head. Because you're responsible for everything, you start feeling like you're not good at anything, because you've genuinely never had to be. You've never hung a shelf, never dealt with the electrical panel. And that feeling of being no good at all of it at once is honestly the worst part of living alone at the start. It's not the loneliness, it's the feeling that you're not up to the job, so you chip away at it. Not all at once, that'll drown you, one thing at a time. Buy a basic toolkit and a cheap electric drill and just start. Learn where your water shutoff valve is, today, before you need it. Go find it right now and put a label on it. Learn where your electrical panel is and how to reset a breaker. And use YouTube shamelessly. It's a goldmine. There's a video for every single thing. Your hardware store has actual humans who love explaining this stuff. Your neighbors know things and most of them are happy to be asked. Every little job you figure out, your confidence goes up a notch and the pile of scary things gets shorter. I taught myself to fertilize my own lawn off a video. Was very proud of myself. Silly maybe, but that pride is real, and it adds up. And here's the honest part. You can't do everything, and you shouldn't try. This is not a competition you're failing if you pay someone. I refuse to climb up and clean my own gutters. Refuse. Some of my neighbors get up there and save themselves $100. Good for them, truly. I pay the man, and I'd pay him double. Getting competent doesn't mean doing it all yourself. It means knowing what you can handle, handling that, and having a good plumber's number for the rest. Which brings me to number 2. Number 2, keep a house journal. And this one genuinely changed how safe I feel in my own life. It's nothing fancy, just a notebook, 1 page per year. Not day to day, just a running record of what happens to the house and the car. Let me tell you why it matters, with a real example. A while back, my water heater started making an awful hissing noise. The plumber came, fixed it, replaced a part called the expansion tank, cost me a few $100s, and as he's leaving he mentions, offhand, that these tanks only last about 5 years, so I wrote it in my house journal on the day. And then I flipped forward 5 pages, to 5 years later, and wrote, check the water heater tank. Might be near the end. That's it. That's the whole system. Now, why does that help you thrive? Because the thing that makes living alone feel scary isn't really the broken water heater. It's the surprise of it. It's things happening to you, out of nowhere, seemingly all at once, with nobody to share the shock. The house journal quietly kills the surprises. Tires rotated. Write it down. Note when the next time should be. Smoke alarm batteries changed. Write it down. When the first snow fell, when I started my garden seeds. And now, instead of being ambushed, I open my little book and I can see what's coming. There'll always be some surprises. Life makes sure of that. But the big ones, the ones that used to make my stomach drop, those mostly don't happen anymore, because I saw them coming. That's control. And control is a huge piece of feeling okay on your own. I'll be honest, I'm not perfectly consistent with it. Some months I forget to write things down. But even a messy house journal beats no house journal by a mile. Number 3. Build yourself routines, but easy ones, kind ones. When everything's on your shoulders, routines are what stop it from feeling like chaos. A morning routine, an evening routine, doesn't matter what, just familiar little sequences you don't have to think about, that quietly get the necessary things done. But here's where people go wrong, and I want to save you the grief. Do not build yourself some punishing, ambitious routine you'll dread and abandon by Wednesday. 30 minutes of yoga, then 10 pages of a serious book, then learn 10 words of a new language, every single night. No, I couldn't keep that up. And neither can you, and if you can't do it every time, it's not a routine, it's just a stick to beat yourself with. A real routine is gentle. Mine, in the evening, is genuinely just set out my teacup, pick tomorrow's tea, fill the kettle, that's it. So the morning me wakes up to a tiny bit of kindness already waiting. Laundry and vacuuming on Thursdays, that's a routine. Outside for 30 minutes every day because I work from home and I'll turn into a screen zombie otherwise, that's a routine. Easy, repeatable, done. When your days have a few of these familiar rails to run on, the whole business of living alone stops feeling like you're improvising your entire life from scratch every morning. It just flows. And that ease, that's a huge part of thriving. Number 4. Sort out your safety, practically, not fearfully. This is the one that comes up most, especially for women living alone, and it's completely legitimate, so let's be practical about it, rather than frightened. And notice, you're already equipped for this now, because of the first 3. You check the doors and windows are locked before bed. That's part of your evening routine. Number 3. You want a motion sensor light and a camera by the door? Well, you looked up how on YouTube, and you put them up yourself with that step ladder. That's your new competency from number 1. See how they stack together? I've got a few little cameras I installed myself, some inside, some out, and I'll tell you honestly what they've mostly caught, because it makes me laugh. My backyard, about 20 feet from my door, has had the occasional bear and cougar strolling through at night. I live in that kind of country, and no, I'm not frightened of them. I'm respectful. I know exactly what to do and not do, and honestly, I think of them as my night security. The point is, once you've actually taken the steps, the locks, the lights, the camera, maybe a dog if you're able, and mine's a champion barker, the fear settles down into something manageable. It stops being this vague dread and becomes just a set of sensible things you've handled. That shift, from afraid to prepared, is enormous. And number 5, the one that holds all the others up. Trust that you are the right person for this job. Because here's what I really want you to hear. Under all the practical bits, every single thing on this list, the ladder, the journal, the routines, the cameras, they all quietly add up to one feeling, that you've got this, that the person in charge of your life knows what she's doing and looks out for you and has your back, and that person is you. When you live alone, you are the one responsible for everything, and at the start that sounds like the scariest sentence in the world. But turn it over and look at the other side of it. You're also the one in charge. You get to decide how things are done, and when, and where. There's nobody overriding you, nobody to negotiate with, no surprises coming from another person's choices. You put your very best person in charge of your life, and with a little competence, a little planning, and a few kind routines, that person turns out to be more than capable, more than enough. I truly believe that's the secret to not just surviving on your own, but genuinely loving it, the way I've come to. It was never about not needing anyone. It was about slowly proving to myself that I could trust myself. And you can. You already are. You're here. You're thinking about this. You're figuring it out. That's the whole thing right there. So those are my 5. Get competent one small step at a time. Keep a house journal. Build gentle routines. Handle your safety like a practical matter. And trust that you're the right one for the job, because you are. Now, I'd genuinely love to hear from you, especially if you've been living alone a while. What's the one thing you'd tell a nervous beginner? The tip you wish someone had handed you at the start? Put it down in the comments. Those are always the best conversations we have here, and someone starting out tonight is going to read it and feel a little braver. And if you like this kind of honest, unhurried talk about living on your own and building a life that fits, you're very welcome here. Give it a like, subscribe if you'd like to stay, and I'll be right here next time. Until then, take good care of yourself. You've got this. Bye for now.